Hey there, folks. Adam here. How we all doing? Just drinking some coffee. Wow, that was an interesting morning. Just to clarify, for any of those who are wondering, those tornado warnings were a test from Environment Canada, and unfortunately, they were marked as public instead of private. So that's what we're hearing. And unfortunately, a majority of Southern Ontario received a pretty shocking tornado warning this morning. So, anyway, just wanted to touch on that and make sure everybody's clear that that was sent out in error by Environment Canada. I know I've been talking to many of them this morning, and they're extremely frustrated about it. So, I can definitely emphasize. What? I can't even speak right now, but I can definitely. I can appreciate where they're coming from because those things do happen. I mean, there are glitches. There are those types of things. I know we had like the nuclear power plant test go out before, so these things do happen, and I'm sure they're apologetic about it, and I know they're working on a response to it and all of that stuff. So we feel for them. It's not. I'm sure they're frustrated, so it happens. It's all good. Anyways, let's talk about. This is the current radar into the future radar, and we want to. I want to touch on a few. There's a few models that are saying there's potential for severe weather tomorrow. So some have said there's a little hint of it tonight in extreme southwestern Ontario, but most of them are saying that there is potential for tomorrow a little bit. And you know what though? There's some conflicting stuff. Some models are saying there's tornado potential for tomorrow, and a lot of the models are saying there's a little bit of severe potential. So I'm kind of leaning more towards the potential is very questionable at this point in time, but the American NAM model seems to be pretty excited about what is possible. So on your current radar and your current future radar right now, all you're seeing is that's about now, and you're seeing some rain in eastern Ontario in the bright green, and that will continue to track off to the east. Thank you to all those who are joining us, by the way. I'm currently live right now, so I'm just going to flip over into the comments and say hi to everybody. Sarah says, good morning, Adam. Hopefully you finally got your coffee and banana this morning. Yeah, finally, I definitely did. I need my potassium desperately. Let's see here. Do you have a glitchy warning song? I don't, but I probably could. I think I could put one together. So, I'm pretty sure I could put one together here. Anywho, so back to tomorrow's actual potential. Not, for a second I went, is there maybe something coming off of Lake Huron? And I'm like, no, it's so cold. I don't think it's going to happen today. And then, of course, we noticed that those were a huge mistake, unfortunately, from Environment Canada. But again, these things happen. We feel for them, and our thoughts go out to all those who are getting slapped on the wrist right now for the mistakes that went out. So we're only human, right? We're only human. So let's see here. I'm going to flip over to some weather models now. I want to touch on this might be slightly confusing, but the only timestamp I have on these models is in UTC time. So this is like global time. So I have a little chart up. I'll try to translate it for you. So this is the NAM model over here. So let me just fast forward through this here. 21Z is one that I make sure to memorize. Let me just go back here. 21Z is 5 p.m. So this is 5 p.m. today. So as you can see, a little bit of rain is moving in. Looks like maybe a little bit of, if you notice that, let me go back one. If you notice that little storm down here, there's maybe a little heavier rain shower, maybe some lightning. There's potential for a little bit of lightning today, maybe some of those little ice pellets as well too. Nothing too substantial, but let me toggle through this here. So that was 21. So this is 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. You can see through Huntsville and Britt, maybe Parry Sound through Muskoka. We do have some storms, maybe some heavy rain, maybe some ice pellets, maybe some small hail. We'll see, and that continues on. So 8 o'clock is 00Z. I keep saying Z, don't I? Yeah, I should probably say Z. Z just rhymes with everything else. Anyways. And I'm so musical, I can't help myself. So that is 9 p.m. This is 10, 11. So we're seeing some storms move into Kincardine, Owen Sound. Those might have some lightning. Those might have some small hail. We'll see. And then that tracks through Barrie and Simcoe County into Newmarket and into parts of eastern Toronto. Again, this is a model. So this is one model of like 30 that we check. And so is this going to be the exact tract of these rainstorms? And that's a bit questionable. But I did want to touch on this model for tomorrow. So let's fast forward here. There is some storms in the morning. Questionable if they're going to have any severe potential at all. Probably not. This is 8 a.m. It's not entirely out of the question that some of the morning storms could get a little feisty. So we will see. But so they go into the GTA into Toronto. We see some more rain showers. And as that clears out, this is 19. So let's see here. This is 3 p.m. 3 p.m. on this particular model. And then it starts to get excited. So those storms moving into the Goderich area, and then through London and Woodstock and St. Thomas, that's 5 p.m. If that timing works out, see, the issue is timing, because some of the other models say no. They say those late storms, those storms are going to move through super early before there really is enough daytime heating and enough energy to really get them to the severe threshold. So other models say this isn't happening. But this particular model has been pretty consistent for many, many runs in a row, and it's saying that there could be a cluster of possibly some minor supercells there, and supercell being rotating thunderstorms. So that's 5 p.m., which is prime time. Then we have it moving through Kitchener around 6 p.m., and then we start to see some purple actually showing up kind of near the Brantford area around 7 p.m., and then this is 8 into Niagara and St. Catharines, and then it heads out. So that line, if that does occur, it's possible that we could see some rotating thunderstorms. So I did want to, let's see, I've been working on all these hotkeys here. So if I hit Control-Tab, should we get to the next one? Hey, isn't that nice? So this is actually this is called the significant tornado parameter. And this is talking about the potential for tornadic storms, and it's getting into some pretty high levels here on NAM. Again, I think this model is the outlier at this point in time, so why I'm even showing it is questionable. I want to show this, and then I want to show another model that says no. So I'll show both of them here. But this is the NAM model that everybody's, at least all the weather enthusiasts, are getting excited about. But the HRRR model, the HRW, there's several, the Euro, there's several that are not very excited about this event at all. So I will show a conflicting model to this one just to make it even more confusing and to explain that tomorrow there's a low risk tomorrow. It's questionable low risk at this point in time, but if it does come together, we could see some funnels. We might see a touchdown or two. So here is, what did I say, 17? What's 17 again? 17 is 1 p.m. here. So this is the tornado index for 1 p.m. Here is the tornado index for 2. Here is for 3 o'clock. So a pretty feisty environment by 3. Now those storms looked the strongest around 4 and 5. And so we see some potential through that London, St. Thomas area. Just because there's potential doesn't mean there's going to be storms there. So there's a lot of time we have strong environments and no storms. And there's a lot of time we have storms and weak environments. So in this case, there's an environment there. There might be some storms there. There is some potential. But as it tracks to the east, the environment falls apart. So it kind of hangs around, maybe around the lakeshore of Lake Erie. But it does fall apart. So it's pretty questionable as it tracks into the Niagara region, if it has the potential to be severe or even tornadic. But definitely there's potential for hail tomorrow. There is potential for isolated damaging wind gusts. My passion is tornadoes, so I usually focus on, is there tornado potential or is there not? That's what I want to know. A lot of people say, hey, Adam, is it going to rain tomorrow? And I said, I have no idea. And I say, why don't you have any idea? And I say, I know when the rain is going to throw a tree at you, but if it's just going to rain, I really don't care. I'm more about the severe stuff. I want to make sure that everybody knows when that stuff is coming. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. So that is one model. Oh, did want to touch on one more thing here, which is, let's see if this works again. This is the rotation product from this same model. So let's talk about that here. So it shows, and the rotation product can sometimes reveal where hail is possible as well too. So it's showing that overnight, if you see that little bit of, let me show you my cursor here. See that little gray line here? That's showing that we might see some small hail overnight through kind of the Kincardine area into Newmarket. And as we continue to track, this is those morning storms. They have, again, small hail potential. That's probably all they're going to do. That and some lightning. And then when these storms start to track through, if this does happen, you start to see those rotation tracks east of Goderich there, and they continue all the way through kind of Niagara area. There is some small hail near Haliburton and Bancroft and Tweed. This is in model land right now. So is this going to occur? That is questionable, but we'll see. Small hail is possible tomorrow, and there could be occasional, above London there, it shows some occasional, maybe severe hail. So we'll see. We will see. And those are where there could be rotation as well, too. So we might see some rotating updrafts. We might see some rotation on radar that we're going to be posting about. And in rare cases with these early events, we might see a funnel cloud or a touchdown. So we'll see. We'll see. But it's pretty much the NAM model on its own right now. So let's switch over to a model that completely disagrees with that. So this is the WRF ARW. A lot of acronyms in model land. So let's do the same thing. So we'll talk about the simulated radar here. So let's go through that again. And again, my apologies for the time. 18Z is going to be 2 p.m. Yeah, 18Z is 2 p.m. So there's 2 p.m. today. Here's 3, 4, 5, 6, some rain, 7. Seeing a lot of rain up near Manitoulin Island as well too. Elliott Lake heading towards kind of the Sudbury area and Britt, Parry Sound. So here is into the evening. That is, so if this was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's midnight. Here is 1 a.m., 2, 3. The rain continues through eastern Ontario. There could be some isolated lightning on that and maybe some isolated small hail. But as we continue, so there is 7, 12 is 8 a.m. Yeah, 8 a.m., 9, 10 a.m. So we're starting to see those storms come off of Lake Huron. This is showing pretty early. That's, what was that, 15 was 11. Here is noon. There is 1 o'clock. Those storms are already into Hamilton by 1 o'clock. There's not much energy available in that early in the morning. So still a weak environment. And then, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So around 5 and 6, those storms aren't even there when there is a little bit of that potential. And with that already passing through, that potential barely even exists on the model as well. So let's take a look at that as well. I'm going to flip over to, this is the tornado index from that model that does not agree, which is the ARW here. And so let's take a look at the environment, and I'll just flip through it. I'm not seeing much of anything. Is there anything? Oh, there's a little hint. There's a tiny little bit of gray down by Chatham, Kent, and through St. Thomas, and through Tillsonburg, Brantford, St. Catharines, and then it's gone. So this model completely disagrees. Same thing, too, when we go to the rotation tracks. Now, there is, actually, let me back that up a little bit. This is in the morning, so it does show, if you see that kind of dark gray swath near Goderich that tracks to the east, it does show hail potential there. So there's some hail potential in the morning, and actually that tracks right into Toronto, into the GTA. So even the models that are saying there's barely any severe potential for tomorrow, they are talking about hail. There is some strong wind gusts out there as well too, possible. And so we could see some small hail, obviously not the greatest conditions for traveling and all that stuff. But as far as, is there going to be damaging wind gusts, severe hail, and maybe a little bit of tornado potential tomorrow, it's pretty questionable at this point in time. But hey, you know, that NAM model is, in the past, it's been the only one picking up severe potential that ended up occurring. So it's the outlier, but maybe there is a little bit of potential. So nevertheless, we're going to be watching. I'll probably be live streaming. And that's a lot of looking at the different models here. So I am going to flip back to, let's do the current radar animation, and I'm going to answer some questions because there is so many stuff. Andrew Macklin from our team says, awesome graphics, Adam. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it. And he is a skilled storm spotter. He's got some incredible video. He's got so much video he's got to edit. There's so much that he has to put out still. and I'm excited to see it because Andrew is a skilled dude for sure. So let's see here. Lindsay says, is there any indicators that we may have an active tornado season here in southwestern Ontario? I've been looking at some longer range stuff. It's usually a bit questionable. It did talk about April 28th for like the past 2 weeks. It said April 30th, and then I went April 28th, and then it said like the 25th, and then I went the 28th. So it's kind of been talking about this time. Another thing that's been coming up on the long range stuff as well too is May 5th. So May 4th, May 5th, May 6th. Those dates have been popping up as another potential for severe weather. Maybe potentially stronger. We're seeing signs of it could be even stronger than what tomorrow is showing. And then other signs that say it doesn't even happen at all. So it's a little bit questionable, but is there any indication that we may have an active tornado season here in southwestern Ontario? Well, I would think that it looks like May could be active as we look further in. A bunch of energy keeps kind of pushing to the northeast. We are in a La Nina phase, so that could mean some interesting storms for sure for our area. So we'll see. And if the classic tornado alley in the U.S. has been any indication, it's already been pretty darn active. So we will see. Myrtle says, will we see any shelf clouds today? Today? Maybe. Yeah, maybe later on. There could be some weaker shelf clouds. We're not expecting that much today, but who knows? We'll watch. What's going on? Someone fill me in. Two things. First, we touched on the fact that there were Environment Canada issued by mistake some test tornado warnings they were working on. They actually issued them across much of the province. Those were in error. So again, our empathy. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Our empathy is definitely with those who made that mistake. I know they're probably pretty stressed out right now. Hopefully the majority of folks forgive them and realize that humans are behind all this. And, they make mistakes. We can make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. We're all human. And I'm sure, their intentions were good, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way. William says, dangerous storm potential tomorrow. Yes, but again, pretty much only on the NAM model. NAM model's been good. It's actually been one of the better models this past year. It's been pretty darn good. It's not been every year. Some years it's trash, and then some years it's pretty good. And it's been pretty good, but it's the outlier at this point in time. Miranda, how are you? She says, we had quite the lightning show last night in Sarnia for about 10 minutes. Yeah, we posted about that. It looked pretty loud. William says, what are shelf clouds? A shelf cloud is like the front of the storm moving in. So it's a very defined kind of, it kind of looks like a shelf. It's a very defined front of the storm moving in. So in rare cases, shelf clouds can have QLCS tornadoes spin up on the leading edge of them, but it's pretty rare. Usually it's a wall cloud, like a really low hanging dark wall cloud that can spawn a tornado. But sometimes around here we get the bookend vortex, which still requires a wall cloud. But sometimes you can get them on the edge of the actual shelf. So it's interesting. Jessica says, Midland area. I assume you're asking about Midland. Maybe some storms and some small hail and some heavy rain. Maybe today, probably tomorrow morning. But is there a severe risk in Midland? It's questionable to know. Probably no. We'll watch, but probably no. Kim asks about Kitchener tomorrow. Yeah, Kitchener has some potential. If the NAM model comes around and it's actually correct, then Kitchener does have some potential. So I wrote a silly song about models. I'm not going to get into it. I'm sure everybody's going to give me a hard time now that I mention it. They're going to ask me for it. But no, I'm not getting into it. But it was like, let's look into the models. Something like that. It was jazzy. And at the end, it was like, are they accurate? Nobody knows. Something. It was pretty terrible. Windsor, says Renee. Windsor, from what I've seen, it's hard to say you're going to get any activity. everything looks north of you, but it is possible that you could see a brief storm, probably early afternoon, I would assume tomorrow, if anything. Morning, afternoon, if anything. It's questionable. Monica says, how about Chatham? There is hints of potential there. Even on the models that say there's almost no potential, they kind of hint in extreme southwestern Ontario that there is a bit of an environment. So it's possible they could see some storms. It's questionable. It's hard to say for sure. Jennifer says, is there any risk in Peel for today, tomorrow? Tomorrow, some of the models that say it's the severe potential is not going to happen in extreme southwestern Ontario show maybe some small, weak hail and torrential downpours moving through the GTA. So it's possible. It's possible. Will St. Thomas actually see a storm this time, or formed a bubble and it all goes around? It's disappointing. St. Thomas has had some pretty nasty storms over the years, but yeah, you either don't get them or you get completely hammered by them. So, yeah, there's a little bit of potential in St. Thomas. I'd say there's a marginal low severe risk in St. Thomas for tomorrow, I would say. Okay, trying to get some more areas here. There's lots of Windsor here, but I did just mention Windsor. St. Catharines, says Darcy. Yeah, St. Cat's has, I would say there's a low risk of severe potential in St. Cat's tomorrow, but it looks more west of you. You're probably going to get a storm for sure at some point in time. Maybe not for sure, but there's a pretty darn good chance you're going to get thunderstorms tomorrow with small hail. There's a questionable severe risk for you. Nothing in Woodstock yet, says Angie. Yeah, nothing's happening until tomorrow, I would think. You might see some stuff overnight and in the morning. We'll see. Carol says, good morning, I'm just signing in. Did you mention Stony Creek, Hamilton? Hamilton, a little bit of potential. Low risk for Hamilton tomorrow. We're going to work on a map for it, but it's questionable. Again, it's only really one or two models that say it's possible. So Christine says Goderich. Multiple rounds of storms are possible for the Goderich area. Questionable if they're going to be severe. Questionable. Where else? Meaford tomorrow. Yeah, that far north is questionable. I would say storms are possible, small hail, but severe, hitting that severe threshold where it gets dangerous is questionable. I mean, dangerous driving in torrential rain and small hail is always bad, but as far as it actually doing some wind damage, it's questionable. Let's see here. Lena says, what's in for Madoc tomorrow? Which is, for those who don't know, it's kind of in the Tweed area. As I think it's near Peterborough as well. Yeah, maybe some storms, maybe some small hail. Heavy rain, small hail is possible, but it's questionable. And is there a severe risk that way? I would say at this point in time, no. From what I've seen, I would say no. I just want to give a big shout out. I know we're live on so many different platforms. We're live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, on our Instant Weather app, Facebook group, on Instant Weather Canada, Instant Weather Ontario, Ontario Tornado Watch, and our Instant Weather app Facebook page. We're live in a lot of places. So, but I want to give a huge shout out to those who have become a supporter on Ontario Tornado Watch and on Instant Weather Ontario. Huge thank you to those. For those who don't know, we've seen all these other pages do become a supporter where they take their best content and they put it behind a paywall so only those who pay get it. And that doesn't make sense for us. So we thought about it, we discussed it, we talked about it, and we said that just doesn't make sense for us. So what we did is, instead of going the typical $6, $7 route of what become a supporter is on Facebook, we went down, based on your survey, we went to $2.49 a month. You get a cool supporter badge, and basically the idea is that the more that support us, the more we can do, the more we're able to put out more for everybody in the community, not just those who are able to afford it. So we want to do more for everybody. So huge thank you to those who have become a supporter. And of course, those who subscribe to our text message alerts, those who have used our app and subscribe to remove ads on the app as well too. Thank you so much. I think Emmett is at the door. My 4-year-old's at the door, so I'm just going to address him. Give me just 1 second. I'll just make sure he's good. A second. Hi, honey. Daddy's live streaming right now. I'm live streaming right now. Okay. Okay, he's good to go. Mummy's got him. He's got to go back to school anyways, though. So, okay. where was I? Yes. Anyway, so a huge thank you to those who've subscribed to the app. A huge thank you to those who have, subscribed on Patreon as well too. We have several different things, but we've launched this now. Facebook has approved us for Become a Supporter. So huge thank you to that, to those who have done that, and a huge thank you to those who send stars to us, because stars is kind of like a tip jar. So big thank you. We really appreciate it. It makes a huge difference. And yeah, with these new Apple changes that are coming into play, our ad revenue might go in the toilet. So so Become a Supporter is not only extremely important, but it's a huge help for our team and for us to do as much as we can for everyone in the community. So, okay. So we want to go live more often. Somebody mentioned, Stephanie said, looking forward to lives this year. Thank you so much, Stephanie. We want to go live more. We want to do more videos, more updates. We want to do more for everybody in the community. Again, not just those who can pay for it. So Heather says, I'm waiting for Marmora. Marmora? I can look into that. Give me a sec. I'll check. See what's possible for you. Marmora. I think I know how to spell it. I'm actually literally just searching it up on our app right now. There we go. Marmora and Lake Ontario. Okay, let's see what's going on for you. It says, our app says 95% chance of 11 millimeters of rain tomorrow for you. Let's see here. Showers. Doesn't even talk about lightning. Just talks about showers. Yeah, your way it seems less potential for thunderstorms and more for just rain. So we'll see. We will see. Bridget says, will Barrie see anything? I'm in Barrie. We'll see. We could see some thunderstorms. That's probably about it. William says, how do you send stars? So if you have the Facebook app and you're on our Instant Weather Ontario Facebook page or our Ontario Tornado Watch Facebook page, either of those, when you're watching this live stream, it should say send stars, or it might say become a supporter. So it's either or. Thank you so much. So can you, hold on a sec. Niagara, Linda said, Niagara has a little bit of severe potential tomorrow. It's questionable, but a little bit, but it's questionable. Karen says Cornwall. Cornwall is unlikely. I would say maybe some rain, maybe there's possible thunderstorms there tomorrow, but it's questionable if there's any severe potential at all. I would say probably not. At this time, I would say no. I can say no. I've worked on it. It took me 8 years to finally say, no, there's no severe potential, because, we've had, Ontario's had a tornado with 0 Celsius, so I never say never. Unlikely is the term I should be using. Yes, it is unlikely. Stephen Cunningham says, big star for you, Adam. Thank you so much, Stephen. I really appreciate it. Huge thank you to all those who have sent stars. Thank you so much. It's very, very, very much appreciated. Thank you kindly. So where were we here? How about Alliston, says Barbara. Alliston, maybe some storms tomorrow. The severe potential that far to the north is questionable. I think if there's any severe potential, it looks more towards kind of Kitchener and to the south. So we'll see. We will see. How about Prince Edward County, says Pat. Storms, maybe? Maybe small hail. I don't think there's going to be anything severe that way. I would say no. Gail, star. Thank you so much, Gail. I appreciate it. Thank you kindly. Anything for Oshawa, says Brody? Questionable. I would say it's questionable. Storms is possible, but as far as severe, actual severe, like trees coming down, see, there's a lot of over the years we see a lot of folks get really excited about a really loud thunderstorm. There's a ton of lightning, there's small hail, there's heavy winds and torrential rain, and they say, wow, that was so severe. And then my next question is, did trees fall? No. Is your car dented? No. Is your roof dented with hail? No. Was there a tornado? No. Other than lightning, storms aren't classified as severe unless trees start to fall, limbs start to fall. We get to the 90-kilometer-an-hour threshold of damaging wind gusts. And once we get to that threshold, that's when we're talking about severe. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about storms that are actually causing physical damage to properties, trees, throwing around debris, dangerous storms. Severe means dangerous. You can have a really loud thunderstorm that besides the lightning, not really dangerous. Other than, again, if you're traveling, that's a different story. When you're traveling, you're just exacerbating all of the variables with the storm. So then you get into hydroplaning, you get into terrible visibility when you're trying to drive. It's brutal. So someone said, so we actually had a comment from Twitch, which is rare. We're actually on Twitch, instant weather on Twitch. And glad you're on Twitch. I'm in Facebook jail, so I can't interact there. For those in Facebook jail, feel free to join us on Twitch. Shelly says, Keswick, probably not that far north. Storms are possible tomorrow, maybe in the morning, and there could be some stuff overnight tonight. We'll see. But severe is unlikely. Unlikely is the word. Will Sarnia have storm, says Nikki. Maybe. You had a good one yesterday. Will you have a storm? Maybe. Questionable, but maybe. Sean said something, and now it's gone. Where did it go? So many questions so fast. Get into there we go. I found him. Ottawa. Unlikely severe potential. Storm potential, maybe. Maybe. Sarah says, how's the summer looking for tornadoes? I mean, May looks interesting. It's hard to see past that. And I think the summer could get a little drier, maybe. We'll see. I have to look into that seasonal forecast, but could see something interesting this spring. We'll see. Might be one of those spring-fall years. We'll see. We will see. But even when we have quiet summers, we still have days and days without anything, and then wham. And then days and days without anything, and then wham. So that stuff always happens. And we always have lake breezes, kick stuff up around here. So even on those days that wouldn't be a traditional severe weather day, all of a sudden there's like a tornado warning out of nowhere for some area near a lake breeze. So we've had those in the past where London gets one all of a sudden, or Niagara Falls gets one all of a sudden out of nowhere. Those things can happen, so we'll have to be just watching closely. That's what we do. We watch closely. Sheila says, you are my go-to weather peeps. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like the peeps. It's nice. Shell says, St. Thomas, low severe risk tomorrow. Low questionable severe risk tomorrow. The majority of what we're looking at says there's not severe potential for tomorrow, but there's a couple of models that have had good success in the past that are saying it's possible. We'll see. Ashley says Waterloo. Maybe. Model 2 says there's potential for severe. There's a low risk for severe potential tomorrow. Yeah. We'll see. We will see. Tara says, hi, Adam. I hope you're good. Hi, Tara. I'm well, thank you. Mary says London. Yeah, London's kind of come up on a couple models. If the storms arrive, there's probably going to be storms tomorrow. If they arrive too early, the chances of them actually reaching the severe threshold is mitigated. If they arrive around 4, 5, 6 p.m., when the environment has had time to supercharge, then severe is possible. Severe hail is possible. Severe damaging wind gusts are possible. And there's a low and questionable risk for an isolated tornado tomorrow, but we'll see. But questionable. The questionable is more is this even going to happen at all? If it happens at the right time, then there's a risk. We'll see. Is Sudbury good, says Angela. Yeah, Sudbury's good. What's good with you, Sudbury? What up, Sudbury? Yeah, Sudbury's fine. I mean, there's going to be some rain, maybe some storms. But severe potential is negligible. Ooh, I haven't used that word in ever. Okay, Tammy says Barrie. Storms are possible. Severe is unlikely. Shell says, thanks for the heads up. I love a good storm. And she even used the blue heart. The OTWIW blue heart. It's nice. Thank you. I appreciate that, Michelle. Stouffville says, and maybe. You might be too far north, but maybe. Wait, let me just make sure where Stouffville is. I think I know where it is. I thought, didn't I drive through it on my way to Orangeville all the time? Hold on, let's see here. Stouville. Stouffville. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Let me see. Where are you? Or are you in Eastern Ontario? No, okay. You are exactly where I thought you were. Let me see. Stouffville. I gotcha. Did I drive through there on my way to... Oh, no, you're even further south. Oh, okay. So you're kind of north of Markham. Oh, I thought you were way further west. What am I thinking of? Somebody help me. Help me. You might see some storms. Small hail is possible. Severe is questionable. Questionable. Let's see here. I drive for a living, says Jason. How about Napanee area? Eastern Ontario might see some storms, but are they going to be severe? It's unlikely. I would say unlikely. Ange brought up the obvious topic of Environment Canada had an error this morning that sent out a bunch. Yes, back to the obvious topic this morning was there was an error. Environment Canada meant to do a test internally, and somebody switched the internal-external switch, and they sent out blanket tornado warnings to a substantial population across Ontario. So, yeah. We empathize. I can't even say it. I keep saying, I can say empathy. Empathy. We empathize. That's the one. I'll work on that. We empathize with those at Environment Canada who are stressed out about that and are feeling down. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're a human, and things happen. Beth says fired. I don't think anybody's getting fired over it. They're definitely getting a slap on the wrist, but I don't think they're getting fired. I hope they're not getting fired over that. I mean, it is brutal, but you know, we had remember the nuclear power plant test that went out? Yeah, these things happen. Side note, if you actually read the details of the tornado warnings that went out, they did mention test. But does anybody read all those details? I read them all. I'm the only one. Tom says, will Brant County get these storms, Adam Buddy? Maybe. I would say there is some low severe potential tomorrow. I would say there is some potential. Tony says, I got the tornado warning. I'm sure you did. That was interesting to see. I was just trying to drink my coffee. And then tornado warnings everywhere. I didn't spit it out, but I wanted to. Sarah says mine didn't say test anywhere. See, the question is where did you see it? Because if you saw it on our app, we always post the full details, and so it would have had it. So if you saw it on for those who don't know, please go download our free app. Pretty please. InstantWeatherApp.com. It's free. We post the full details to all Environment Canada alerts instantly. If we see something on radar that looks significant, we'll put out our own custom updates. So we put out rotation updates or tornado potential, or if we get a report from a community member that says they reported a tornado, we look at radar, it looks rock solid, we immediately post, tornado reported. We send that out. We send it out to Environment Canada at the same time we send it out to our community. So sometimes, there's that window where you get it from us that there was a report, and then by the time Environment Canada gets to the desk and puts out the warning, then that can come out a few minutes later. So there are opportunities for us to get the word out as fast as possible. That's literally the concept of instant weather, is that we try to get out everything as fast as possible. We verify quickly, we make sure it's solid, and then we put it. Like if there's no storm there and someone says there's a tornado in Windsor, but there's literally no storm in Windsor, then we're not sending that out. But we use human verification to make sure it's rock solid, make sure there is rotation there, make sure there is the right conditions in place, and of course, we have a wonderful community of incredibly passionate, extraordinary people who are always checking out the window. They're always checking the weather. They're always on the ball, really. I mean, it's really you. It's not us. It's you. So because this community is so incredible, we've done everything we can to be able to turn those reports around as fast as possible and get them out to everybody in the community. So please, 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 the way we can do that is our free app, Instant Weather. So go to instantweatherapp.com and please, please download that and check it out. You click Apple or Android, and then you can download your version there. So thank you so much to those who have. Additionally, even more reliable than our internet-only based app. See, the app requires the internet. Sometimes the internet goes down. And the only thing that comes through is a text message. So in 2015, we built textmessagealerts.com. We built, it basically is the only SMS alerting system, outside of Environment Canada can send out the automatic, government alerts to your phone. But if you're not on LTE, if you're not on particular devices, then you can't receive those. And when there's a ton of weather, I mean, if you look at the Ottawa tornado, right, it's a significant time. Everybody's checking their phone at the same time. A lot of people couldn't get any internet service at all. Their LTE went all the way down to I guess the edge. It's like the 2G. The only thing that will go through on a 2G connection is an SMS text message. So that's what we built over there. I'm trying to point to it that way. So textmessagealerts.com, it's $3 a month or $3.39 a month. We haven't changed our prices since 2015. We probably need to change our pricing because it's getting to the point where it's starting to cost us. The whole idea was that it broke even, and now it's getting to the point where we might have to update the pricing. But for right now, it's $3.39 a month, and it's the only service that works without any sort of internet access at all. As long as you have the weakest signal from Rogers or Bell or TELUS, you have that basic signal. The only thing that has a chance of getting through during those significant times is our text message alerts. So if you want the most reliable option, that is what we built in 2015. It's been rock solid, and thank you to our developers who have built that. Huge thanks to my brother Jesse, is a master web developer and has been super, super helpful over the years. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what we offer. So please download our free app or subscribe to our text message alert service. And thank you so much to all those who have helped. There's still 500 of you on probably on different pages. It has different numbers, but I get to see all of these pages summed up into one. And there's still about 500 folks on the stream. So let me know in the comments if you want to hear a song. I will play you a song. This is what I do. I can't help myself. I'll play you one tune. Just because you stuck with me to the end, I'll give you one song. Let me know if you want to hear a song. Maybe an original. We'll see. I've been talking for a long time, though, so I'm murdering my voice. Hold on. Well, the weather outside is weather. Who did I get that from? I think it was from The Edge. 102.1. Okay. Let me just make a few adjustments here in the background, and then I will play you folks a song. Maybe I'll try to answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to shut down stream after that point. So let's see here. Opening some things. That is fine. Okay. Let me see. Just got to adjust a few things here. I have different audio settings that can help. Take that off and that. I haven't tuned my guitar, have I? Uh-oh. That could be a problem. Let's see. That's not bad. Okay, I'm going to take this off and this off, and that should be better. Let me know if the audio is decent. And I will play some tunes. Because why not? That's what I do. That's fun. So I'll watch that 500 dwindle now that I'm playing music, but hey, that's okay. That's all right. I think, we've covered the fact that the tornado warnings were an error by Environment Canada. I'm sure they're apologetic, and I'm sure they're sorry about it, and we have empathy for all those who are dealing with that right now. So, yeah. So that's the one thing we covered. The second thing we covered is there is some low, questionable severe weather potential for deep southwestern Ontario, maybe into the Niagara area, and maybe into the GTA, but it's questionable. There's definitely going to be some storms for multiple areas across the region, but the majority of them should be non-severe. The majority. Could be loud. Could be noisy. I'm going to throw up our instantweatherapp.com. Please download a free app. I appreciate it. Thank you kindly. Okay, now, Freebird, says Andy. Oh, it's been so long. user said the equalization between your voice and guitar is pretty spot on. All right. Well, the mic is like up here, so that helps. Let's see here. Freebird, how do you do that? It's been so long. Am I going to be able to do it? We'll see. Do I remember the lyrics? Cody says, got the app. Thanks, Cody. Appreciate it. Huge thank you to all those who have gone into the menu and clicked Upgrade Radar and subscribed. It's like $1 a month, but you get 5 hours of feature radar, and it helps a lot. If I leave here tomorrow, would you still remember me? For I must be traveling on now. There's too many places I've got to see. Please don't stay here with me, girl. I'm trying to read comments while I'm trying to remember lyrics. Things just couldn't be the same. I'm as free as a bird now, and this bird you cannot change. Whoa, and this bird you cannot change. Whoa. Freebird for now. I could get into that. Oh, I can't change. But yeah, but we're getting deep at that point. It's getting a little deep. So yeah, it's all good. Any other great voices, Trisha? Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. John brings up an interesting point. He says, the statement the cell signal will get through is technically incorrect as it implies reception strength. Remember, cell phones are two-way devices. A cell phone is also a transmitter. Fair enough. My point is, if anything can get through, it's an SMS. Because those require, they're very small kilobytes. They're a very tiny, tiny little message. And if anything can squeak its way through, if you have a really, really weak signal, it's going to be that. My other point is that if you don't have at least an LTE strength signal or higher, so LTE or 5G or 4G. So 4G is LTE. So if you have 4G, LTE, or 5G, and you have a compatible device, then you can get Alert Ready, which is the government alerts to your phone. But if your signal drops below LTE, then like if it drops to 3G because everybody's using the cell tower at the same time, which happens. It literally did happen during the Ottawa tornado. They got completely overwhelmed. There's only so much bandwidth for those towers. And in that circumstance, basically everybody reported they did not get the government tornado warning on their phone because Ottawa had a tornado after the EF3 went through Dunrobin. So the Dunrobin one went through Gatineau. So that happened. And then there was another tornado. And on that additional tornado warning, because the towers were already so flooded, most did not get their tornado warning, at least from the survey we posted to find out. So, yeah. So in those circumstances, the only thing that can squeak through is going to be a basic SMS. So, yeah. Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you kindly for the nice comments. I appreciate it. Dust in the wind. I'll play what I'm a little more comfortable with. I should learn Dust in the Wind. It's a good one, but let me see here. I'll play Blackbird because I play it all the time, but it's a nice one. It calms everybody down. When people are stressed out, I like to calm them down with music. Excuse me. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take those broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Oh, take those sunken eyes. You learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night. Singing in the dead of night. Take those broken wings and learn to fly. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to rise. You were only waiting for this moment to rise. Oh, you were only waiting for this moment to arise.
Thanks so much. All right. Played some songs. I said I would, and I did. Same song I play every time. I should learn more songs. I know so many songs. In a past life, I was a professional. I guess I got paid for it. I was a professional musician, and I played a whole bunch of gigs, and I know a million songs, but they're not very polished, so I have to polish them up. So please let me know if there's anything you want me to play in the future, and I will try my best to work on it. So thank you kindly. Kathleen says, those of us that hung around got a real treat. Thank you so much, Kathleen. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Lynn with a lot of claps. Thank you, Lynn. Again, a huge thank you to those who have become a supporter. You get a cool supporter badge, and you're allowing us to do more. So we want to do more live streams. We want to do more coverage of severe weather. We want to do more kind of early forecasting stuff. So when we're sitting around and looking at models, I'd rather just sit around and look at models with you, and then you can see what I'm looking at. So I want to be able to, just poke around in models and you can see what's going on. So I want to be definitely more transparent that way. We're dealing in probability. So we rely a lot on these weather models. There's not just one or two, there's like 30 of them. So we look at a whole bunch of different ones and try to create some sort of ensemble in our heads and then work on a forecast at that point in time. So Karen says you need to play Tears in Heaven. Oh, she said Tears from Heaven, but I think she meant Tears in Heaven. That's a great song. That's a fantastic song. We have a message on Twitch here. Tactical Captain on Twitch says, I feel bad for the people that issued the false tornado warnings. I do too. And that really should be our, we should feel empathetic to those who have done that. We shouldn't get angry at them. What? How could they have done that? They obviously didn't want to do that. That was completely a mistake. And so, yeah, we have empathy to those from Environment Canada who went to put out a test and ended up putting it out publicly. So that's what C.E. Van Den asks here. Why was there a tornado warning issued by ECCC this morning? It was done, it was supposed to be a test, and they unfortunately issued it to everybody, or a major region of the area. So I'm sure that was incredibly frustrating on their end. And a lot of people asked me if I was mad about it. And I said, there's a lot of people that are mad. A lot of the Ontario weather community is up in arms, super livid, and I can appreciate why. Because we have there's a small potential for tornadoes tomorrow, and hopefully that people don't just think like, oh, well, did I just completely freeze? Oh, there we go, I'm back. Okay. We are hoping that people, don't disregard the one tomorrow if there is one because of what happened today. So I think most people realize that it was an error. I hope so. I hope they do. And yeah, so that happens. Our thoughts are with those who are banging their head against the desk right now because of what happened. So I'm not necessarily mad. It happens. I know they're human. And you know what? It's better that if there's any silver lining, it's better that it happened when there wasn't dangerous storms. Like you don't want it to happen when we know there's potential, because then it becomes really confusing. When there actually is dangerous storms, you want them to be as accurate as possible, not, there's a dangerous storm and a false one went out as a test by accident. So I'm assuming they wouldn't be testing during dangerous storms. So Beth says, so there was no warning for a tornado. No. So the tornado warnings that went out this morning, to clarify one more time, Environment Canada went to do a test internally, and somebody hit the wrong checkbox and sent it out to the public. So it was definitely a mistake, and our thoughts are with those who did it, because they're getting slapped on the wrist pretty hard right now. So, but again, I don't get angry about those things. It's frustrating, and I can appreciate why many are frustrated. But stuff happens. I carefully chose my word there. Trisha says, we all have dogs and patio furniture. Please be kind. Ethan makes a good point. He says, if there was an actual tornado warning, Environment Canada would have given more information on where and when and the hazards. Yeah, they do these really cool things now that we're actually working closely with a couple of members of Environment Canada because we want to use their they have a new thing where they say locations impacted include. So they actually, we've said for years, and in the past we've been very vocal about it. Right now, the tornado warnings regions in Ontario are enormous. So if Barrie has a tornado, Collingwood, which is like an hour drive away, gets a tornado warning. So that part of it is flawed, but they've started doing locations impacted include, and they list, they could say like Barrie, Stroud, they could, Innisfil, they could list a few little locations that is actually in the path of storms. So what we want to do, because as you may or may not know, on Facebook and on Twitter, we automatically post Environment Canada warnings in the polygon. So what we want to do is create a sub-polygon, a smaller area that is just for that locations impacted include. So that's something we're working on right now with a few members of Environment Canada to try to get the smaller polygon on. So we're still going to post like the Collingwood Barrie polygon, but then we would post like a highlighted area inside of the giant polygon that's way too big, the smaller polygon that actually makes a lot more sense. So that's something we're working on right now. So that's very excited about that. You may or may not have heard, we also we have partnered with the NTP, which is the Northern Tornadoes Project, Western University, Dr. David Sills and Dr. Greg Kopp, and that's very exciting as well too, because we are working on some really cool stuff upcoming. So I can't say anything yet, but it's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be awesome. So some new tornado detection algorithms, and yeah, we're working on some really, really cool stuff right now. So that's why we're pretty quiet. We're kind of, other than like there's weather, we're like quiet because there's a lot going on right now. So thank you so much for your patience. Ange had a really good, this is a perfect point. I'd really only be upset if there was a real tornado and no warnings. Yeah, that's the time to be upset. When there's like reports of a tornado, or there's photos of a tornado, or there's strong rotation on radar and there's no warning, that's when we start to, I mean, even then, humans are humans. What can you do? But when we're talking life and death stuff, and the opportunity to be able to get the word out about it. Anyways, that's literally the reason we exist, is because of we want to get the word out as fast as possible. Our entire goal since 2013 has been to raise awareness about tornadoes and severe weather. And thank you so much for all of your support and allowing us to be able to do that. So thank you kindly. I really appreciate it. Ange has the perfect point. And even then, I mean, okay, I can appreciate why people get mad then, but even then, no system is perfect. We're not perfect. Environment Canada is not perfect. The National Weather Service in the U.S. is not perfect. No system is perfect. So that's why we always say, I always say, it's good to have multiple ways of getting alerts. Good to have Environment Canada's app. It's good to have Instant Weather, our app as well too. It's good to have, if you want an even next level, to have our text message alerts at textmessagealerts.com. with a subscription. It's good to have all these different options, because if one explodes, you still get it from the other one. If there's that rare case where there is no alert for a dangerous storm, then you might find from our service we send out a custom update about rotation in that area, and then you could say, well, there was no alert for it, but thankfully I got a custom update about a rotating storm in my area, and you had the heads up of it actually about to happen. So, again, we're just here to complement the existing services from Environment Canada, and try to just help keep folks safe. That's what we do. That's what we do. So that's it. Played some songs, gave some updates, all of that fun stuff. So hopefully that brought a little bit of clarity to what's happening. We're going to watch very carefully with tomorrow's risk. We're going to see the next few model updates, see how it's trending, and then we'll probably put out a low marginal risk for severe weather, maybe some isolated risk, elevated risk for severe weather in deep southwestern Ontario, but that still depends. It's still a bit questionable at this point in time. So yeah. And you know what? C.E. Van Dens had a great point here. ECCC, for those who don't know what that is, it used to be Environment Canada. Now it's Environment and Climate Change Canada. We still refer to them as Environment Canada because most people do, but that's their full official name. ECCC does way better now than 20, 30 years ago. 100%. 100%. Even from the time we started, from back in 2013 to now, it's like night and day. So they've come a long way. They've come a long way. So kudos to Environment Canada. They've done great. They have some new fantastic meteorologists working there who are super proactive. Crawford Luke being one. They've got some pretty incredible people there, and we're grateful for what they do, and we're just trying our best to help them push that word out further and try to complement their service with our custom updates when appropriate. So, yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much, everybody. Hopefully everybody's good. If you have any more questions, please let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them. And we will be putting out a map ASAP. So, yeah, that's it for now. Thank you so much. Everybody be good, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.